We have with us today the first of the accused, a midwife from Ipswich. Madame, please have a seat. Now it has come to my attention that you have led people astray from the church with your so-called healing remedies, and even in one case, contributed to the death of an infant. Now realize, Madame, that people in need will seek the helping hand of the church, and not that of some Satan-worshipping midwife. Without further ado, I call the first witness to the stands, Madame. The woman approaching the stand is the very mother of that dead child. Ma'am, if you may, please share with us your story.
This is very, very hard for me to speak about because this only happened a few weeks ago, but, well, I knew there was something off immediately when the midwife arrived. She was the only one available. 1 second.
Of course, madam. Take your time.
Well, this look in her eyes, it just seemed wrong. It didn't seem right. But immediately, I was in labor. I knew the baby had to come. So finally, on arrival, the baby comes out and there's no pulse. It's not moving. It's not crying. I know there was something wrong with this woman who was birthing my baby.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry for your loss.
You're a devil woman!
It's not my fault.
The devil is in you!
It was born dead. It was a stillborn.
No, you're lying. This woman is lying to the court.
Are you lying to the very integrity of this courtroom?
No, I try to do my best, but I can't.
How do you explain a dead child? How do you explain a dead child?
See?
I hope you burn. Midwife, you leave me no choice but to charge you with the murderer of an innocent child, one of God's own children.
Amen!
The worshipping of the Lord Lucifer himself, and attempting to lead others down your path of deviousness. With that being said, I order you to be burned upon the pyre at sunrise tomorrow. This court is adjourned! This court is adjourned! Call to the stand is the second of the accused, an indentured servant from Barbados who now finds herself in the employment of the esteemed Reverend Thomas Wright. Madame, you have been seen practicing witchcraft, which could only be described as Satan worship and doing the dance with the devil himself. How do you explain yourself?
I find that it is a lie. I am not involved in witchcraft, nor do I do the work for the devil.
How would you explain your practices then, Madame?
The natural spirits lead me to cure people of diseases and also tell good fortunes for the people.
That sounds like witchcraft.
It is not. It is part of me culture.
I have no other choice then than to call the very witness who have heard you in these conversations with the devil. Mrs. Sally Dewsgood, can you please come to the stand? Hello, young Sally.
Hey, Governor.
Why don't you have a seat right here? Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you saw that fateful night?
Well, I was in the forest, you know, I was doing skipping and playing with my friends. I kind of ran off to go get the ball that went too far, and I saw that slave right there, gallivanting with the devil. She was doing some strange dance, and there were these liquids and feathers. I don't know, it was all so odd.
How am I supposed to interpret what this fine young lady just said?
It is a lie.
What do you expect me to believe
Then
then?
what did I see you doing, lady?
I send prayers up to the natural spirits. This is my culture, I tell you.
Madame, the church refers that to witchcraft. There's nothing more that is to be said here. The court is adjourned. By the power invested in me, and by the order of the church and this court, I hereby see that you join the rest of the lot and burn tomorrow at sunrise on the pyre. Court is adjourned.
objection.
I now call forth the third and final of the accused, a once well-regarded member of her community who, until recently, held quite the reputation. However, she is being accused of blatantly criticizing the church by holding secret meetings at her house, some of which I hear include men in the congregation.
There were no men.
Ma'am, hold your tongue. I am told that we have today a Mr. Smith who is at the very congregation. Mr. Smith, please take a seat at the stands, please.
I'm Mr. Smith.
I have never seen this man in any of my meetings.
Finish, please. Continue, Mrs. Smith.
Well, you called me here today to tell you what I witnessed, and she was holding meetings, and there were quite a few men there, I'd say 6 or 7, and I was one of them, and she welcomed me into her home. I didn't know what to expect at first. I thought we were just going to have a friendly meeting about the church, but no, she criticized the church, and I can't believe
No,
it.
this is ridiculous.
This is not ridiculous. You did this, woman. You stood before me, before me, a man, and told me what I should believe in, how I should believe.
Are you aware of your role as a woman, madame?
Excuse me?
Are you aware?
She is not aware of her role. No.
By the order of the court and the integrity of this fine town of Ipswich, I see it that you are to be burned with the lot of them.
No,
Please,
no,
take this woman away.
No,
Take this
no,
woman away.
No!
Away.
No!